Have you ever brought multiple designs on your screen? For example, I'm going to go ahead and copy this. If I just touch it once, I get a second copy. Or if I touch and hold that, I can put in how many copies I want. So if I want 2 more, I can just touch OK, and out pop 2 more of these designs. Now, what we're going to talk about is actually when these go to stitch. They're going to stitch out in the order that they were brought in the screen. Okay, so it's going to stitch this one, and then 3 and 4. And of course, remember, you can move these in the order you want them to stitch. But what happens is it's going to stitch the orange and the leaves, the orange and the leaves. Well, we don't want to change color every single time. And it's obvious that if we could stitch all the orange at once and then switch to the color of the leaves, it would be a lot faster. Let me show you how and where we do this. Go ahead and touch go, and you're going to notice that because we have we have 4 designs and in 2 colors each, we have a total of 8 different colors. So starting off with the orange, then the kind of creamy color. But we have color functions right here. See where it says with the flower and the 3 little color blocks beside it. Touch that. So first off, your options are monochrome or color block sort. So monochrome would be as if you just wanted to have these stitched without any color stops. Put 1 color on, it's going to stitch it out all 1 color. So you'll notice if you ever see your designs completely gray on your screen, you have turned the monochrome feature on. You can also do that by over here by touching the stop button. So if your stop button is not lit, it is going to be monochrome. So if you accidentally hit that while you're embroidering, to stop the machine accidentally, remember you always use the start stop button. But I've done that before where I've touched this off, and then all of a sudden my design doesn't ever stop for the last remaining colors. That's not fun. Okay, so that's another quick way to get it to go to monochrome. But I'm going to go ahead and leave it. So we have all of the 8 color stops. Here's what you can do. The second one is color block sort. When you touch that, notice what it does here. I'm going to just clear that off the screen. It puts 4 oranges together and 4 of the cream together. So that's exactly how it's going to be. Now, right now it's going to show number 1, and then it's going to stop. And number 2, and then stop. Well, we don't need it to stop in between those. Let me show you the next step. Here is color block merge. And I always was confused on this, but here, let me bring up the definition. Color block merge, when you use to ignore the stops in between identical color blocks after using the color block sort. So right now, you'll use the color block sort to get them all together, then touch the color block merge, and by having both of those selected, when we start to sew, it's going to sew sections 1 through 4, and then stop here instead of stopping after each one. So it'll stop after each group of colors. Hallelujah, that's so much easier. Now, that doesn't always work for all designs. This is obvious and it works. And the example would be as if there was 5 colors in your design, and the second one was a white, and the 5th one was a white. What's going to happen is there was a reason those designs were digitized to have white sew in 2 places. That last white might be a white of an eye. It's kind of overlapping something and needed to stitch a second time. So if you group where there's multiple repeats of a color, this is not going to work. You're going to end up grouping all your whites together, and they're not going to stitch out in the right order. So keep in mind, play it smart. If it's obvious, you definitely can do this, especially when you have put together multiple designs on your screen in this section. Now you can also come in and do that color edit where you could turn that white, the second white, into another color so it doesn't see the 2 whites as the same color, and then you can go in and kind of remake the design and still use the options in the color function menu to color block sort and then merge them so they stitch all at once.